What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Halving Report podcast with myself, your host, Brad Mines. The price of Bitcoin is just under 21,000 US dollars, and there are about 17 months left until the next Bitcoin halving. Recently, we posted on the Halving Report Instagram account a very interesting chart that shows how Bitcoin always moves up in 4-year cycles, halving over halving. We encourage you to take a look at it as it will help you understand how Bitcoin cycles work. Before we get to today's show, shout out to our partner at BitBuy. If you are Canadian and you haven't already, go to bitbuy.ca/halving for a free $20 in Canadian fiat after depositing your first $250, which can be used to purchase many different types of cryptocurrencies so quick and easily at bitbuy.ca/halving. Today, we have Lamont Lambo Astwood on the show. Lambo and I met at the Blockchain Futures Conference in Toronto, Canada this past August. He has worked for the Bahamas Security Commission and touts his home country as the headquarters for FTX Crypto Exchange. So let's get right to it. Lamont, thanks for doing this today, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you having me, man. And, it's great meeting you inside Canada. I had a lot of fun up there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, have you been to Canada before? Was that your first time? Do you come often?
That was my first time.
All right, man. What was your, what was your impression?
It was really, I like it because it's really diverse. And I have a lot of friends who live up there. And to me, I just feel as though the people are more friendlier. I tell people it's almost like the United States, but it seems as though the people are more friendlier in Canada. Yeah, I really liked it. We stayed in the Toronto area, and it's just, it's always good, just to see new places and absorb new cultures like that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that we live up to our international reputation of just being kind people. That's good to hear. Yeah, the Blockchain Futures Conference. Yeah, so just for the listeners, that just for a little bit of context, Lamont and I met each other at the Blockchain Futures Conference in early August there, and we've been trying to schedule this interview for a little bit of time since then. So I'm happy that you could finally make it on the podcast, man. If you don't mind, do you mind just giving us a little bit of a background for yourself and how you got into the cryptocurrency space?
Well, I graduated from college. I got a bachelor's degree in finance. So after that, I started working. My first real full-time job was at the Securities Commission in the Bahamas. And as of yesterday, I resigned.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
That was after 6 years. But around 2018 or so, 2017, me and some friends, we co-founded a crypto startup. We call it Island Crypto.
Island Crypto.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
This was before any type of regulation, any type of anything. It's just pretty much Wild West at that point. But then, it kind of phased out. But I still got it really interested in the cryptocurrency stuff. So I started doing a lot of vlog videos. So I would do videos breaking down finance concepts. And I started to shift my focus more towards the cryptocurrency industry because I just found it more interesting. And you could find so much things to talk about. Every week is something new happening, and it's just where everything was just so new and just so interesting. It's the new hype in a way. Then you had the whole thing with NFTs came into play and all that. So that really made it much more interesting. Then I just started making a lot of connections in the business and the space. I don't know if you heard FTX moved to the Bahamas, because originally I'm from the Bahamas. That's where I'm born and raised. FTX actually moved down there, so a lot of people are starting to get more interested in it because now they want to know what's going on, who else is coming down there, stuff like that. So that was kind of my real how I kind of got into the industry really.
Yeah, no, that's a very cool story. So what was the time frame on that? When did you start working for your previous employer? I know you just said you resigned yesterday. How long have you been there, and how long have you been in that space? When did you kind of make this switch?
August 2016 was my first. That's when I first entered. So that was pretty much my 6-year anniversary was August. Yeah, pretty much August.
Okay. And which part of the Bahamas did you say you're from?
Nassau.
Okay. Yeah, I stopped there. on a cruise ship. Went through the day. I took a jog up and down and saw the town just up and down. There's was it the Queen Stairs or what is that the attraction there?
Yeah, by
The
by the
Queen
hospital.
Steps.
Yeah, the 66 steps. Then
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
real hallmark. That's a real landmark. Sorry.
I just remember, I don't know, I'm just trying to recollect my trip years ago, and that's just what's coming to mind. But no, I remember lots of color throughout the city as well. I remember stopping at Starbucks. You guys have a Starbucks?
Yeah, we have a few more now.
Oh, that's awesome. I was looking at your Instagram page, and you have a certificate, a blockchain certificate. Did I read that correctly, or what's the story behind that?
Yeah, certified blockchain architect certificate. Yeah, I actually got that because I have a background with the CFA program, so I'm studying actually for my last level now. But as I started to get more interested in blockchain and crypto, and I started to talk to like people who are actually in the industry, I realized how much I didn't know. So I was like, okay, let me actually do a certification and let me understand the intricate details of it, because a lot of it is like, okay, you have the financial aspect, like analyzing companies, breaking down the fundamentals, but you don't really understand when it comes to like understanding the difference between layer ones, layer twos, analyzing a blockchain or crypto from a fundamental aspect. That's where I was like, okay, you got to really start to fuse these two bases of knowledge together. So that's really the reason why I got the certified blockchain architect certificate.
Oh yeah, that's great. It's good to see. It definitely gives some credibility when you see a recognized institution giving that to you. You're showing that you're serious in the industry, and as a public figure out there. I also saw your Instagram. You're holding like a big ass, long, fat snake, and I'm thinking, is this guy crazy? Who is this guy coming on the Halving Report?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, another love of mine. Yeah, I just came from a trip. I actually went to the United States actually this month. Actually, just came back on the second of this month, and we went through like 10 different states, and we stopped in New Orleans. So our hotel was literally like 2 blocks down away from Bourbon Street. So every night I would just walk to Bourbon Street and just meet and greet people. And this guy had a python, so he's like, $20 to take a picture with the python. I was like, all right, sure. So yeah, that's what. Yeah, I have a love of like exotic animals. Like I like tigers. I have pictures of me at jaguars, stuff like that. Like
Oh wow.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
animals.
that's
Like I love animals that can kill me for some strange reason. I don't know why.
yeah, you're a risk taker. It seems like you're a risk taker. Maybe that's why you're in this space. I'm going to ask you about the Ethereum merge. I know you were talking about that as well. And, what are your thoughts on it since it's happened? And, has things been going smoothly, or have you been following, what's been happening there?
I haven't been, in all honesty, I've not been following too much of what's been happening with the Ethereum merge. Um, I was more so paying attention a lot to like the traditional financial markets, especially like how I'm doing this job change. But I see there is like mix. I know before it actually happened, a lot of people was either buying or selling their Ethereum. They didn't really know what to do. I bought like $100 worth, and I just sold it off because it like had a little bounce back because it very much dipped after I bought it. So I was like, you know what? Let me just see what's going to happen down the road. But yeah, I haven't really been keeping up with what's going on with Ethereum as much. But I know they mentioned that it's going to save like a lot of energy as far as like the mining process and all this. It's going to save like what 99% of the energy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anything basically, in my opinion, anything that makes crypto more efficient and more, because right now we're in a stage where everyone wants to be, environmentally friendly, which is important. You know, I think anything like that right now is going to help build the crypto space, because now when you're more like environmentally friendly, then you will have like institutions who are willing to get behind it and
Mm-hmm.
cover like all that ESG basis from a point of view like that. Yeah, but I haven't been keeping up too much of what's going on, like how it's been performing as of late.
Yeah. Well, I was browsing. I mean, I always browse the headlines in the crypto space, and it's not like I've seen any like major things go wrong with it in the news out there. I was going to ask your thoughts around, which cryptocurrencies that you like. If I have a lot of people on here that are, Bitcoin only, Bitcoin maxi, screw everything else. And then, you get the people that are just into NFTs or just Ethereum. What's your take on that?
My friend, he always told me, don't marry an idea. So he's like, don't lock yourself in with one particular project or cryptocurrency, always be open to new things. So like when I see people who are strictly like, oh, they're only Ethereum and everything to do with Ethereum, it's kind of weird because like, Ethereum, they have good projects. Solana, they do good when they're ready. You have Cardano. So sometimes it's good just to mix it up. I'm a person, I like to look at coins that are backed by like companies that I see are expanding. So, for example, I probably will have a bias about this because I'm from the Bahamas and FTX just moved down here, but I probably I find myself right buying more FTX tokens just simply because I see where the company is doing expansion. And even though we're in this bear market right now, because like the bear market, I think started around May or something, like around that time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's,
Sorry, can you tell us a little bit more about that project?
FTX.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they actually set up their headquarters here in the Bahamas. Because the Bahamas recently we issued a digital asset and registered exchange bill, the DARE Act, and that they have registered with us. So right now they have a DARE license. So right now they operate under FTX Digital Market. So their headquarters essentially is set up in the Bahamas. And with that DARE Act, actually, right, I think it's really great because a lot of international firms now starting to eye the Bahamas and they see it as real investment opportunities there because right now we have a very crypto-friendly government and there's a lot of opportunity as far as like building up the digital infrastructure here. So like you have the central bank signed dollar, that's a project that was launched, I think I could be wrong, I think like around 2016, 2017. And we recently had a food festival. So like every year they'll have like food festivals. So what they actually did is they have like they basically was trying to go cashless for the food festival. So they're trying to get more people on board to use the sand dollar. So it'll be almost like our own central bank digital currency, really. So they're trying to get more merchants on board, get more users of it, and get more people aware of it. So I think things like that, to move FTX, Sand Dollar, the DARE Act, all of that is building interest in the Bahamas. And I think it's really going to help move us forward because one of our prime minister, he actually mentioned that he would like the Bahamas to be a digital hub. And, like almost every country right now wants to be a digital hub. You see Rishi Sunak in the UK, he actually said he wants the UK to be a digital hub. So I think there's a lot of great opportunities. The Bahamas has been a place where there haven't been a lot of innovation, but I think right now it's starting to open up eyes, especially like to the up and coming professionals who are more interested in it. And established institutions now, they kind of like was not interested in the crypto and digital assets due to like reputational risk. Now they're actually starting to see where it is viable. When you have companies like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs getting into this, like, okay, let me dip my toe in the pool, and just see how that works out. But yeah, man, I really I think their move here really is like I'm trying to I don't know like use this term opening up the floodgates because I think that's has like a negative connotation, but I think it's kind of like, it's like a beacon, and it actually like shows general interest in our region. So I really support that move.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not sure what the international regulations are for like foreigners, like, but I would certainly love to come to the Bahamas and live in the Bahamas because we're getting right to winter season here in Canada. And, I know you were here in the summertime. It wasn't too bad, but it's soon to be a lot worse. But is regulation, much different? You touched on a little bit there, but what's happening in the regulatory world down there in the Bahamas, and like when it comes to taxes, is it all pretty much the same as North America, or how does it work down there?
No, it's actually very different from North America. That's one of the reasons why a lot of crypto firms are starting to, I hear, like they're starting to planning a move here, is because like the one of the differences is I had a talk with someone who's executive at a crypto firm, and he was like, one of the problems they're having in the US is they actually would have problems because every different city, every different municipality, every different state has its own laws and has its own tax structures. So it's like you could operate a certain way like in New York, but if you cross state lines, then you're doing something illegal or something like that. And it kind of muddies the water. So a lot of firms don't know how to operate on a countrywide basis. But like when you look at the Bahamas, it's like almost like a blanket um legislation across all, and our taxes are really more is really more lenient in that case. So it's like you really could kind of like operate your business. You could focus more so on just the business aspect instead of just, hey, I just got to pay all these taxes, blah blah blah, and seeping into your profits. So you're actually able to expand more. So yeah, our legislation is really crypto friendly, and it's ever adding new things because like where the industry changes so much. So like you know 2 years ago NFTs weren't a thing. Like 2 3 years ago nobody knew what about NFTs. Now it's like that's something you really got to keep your eye on. You know. So yes, we have a very pro crypto legislation.
Well, that's really good to hear. I'm hoping like they're gonna take away like the micro payments transactions. Like that seems like really unusable. It makes cryptocurrency really unusable here in Canada. Is the fact that absolutely everything needs to be taxed, and I don't know. I heard the idea of some places possibly getting rid of having to tax any transactions under $200. I think that would be, but even that would be so beneficial. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I must say, like when I did travel to the US, I mean, sorry, when I did travel to Canada, taxes were a factor. Taxes and parking. I didn't know you guys charge a lot for parking. Like everywhere I went, you had to
Well,
pay for
yeah,
it.
in
Yeah.
Toronto, yeah, your parking costs, that's for sure, man.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that was a factor. But I think cryptocurrency definitely could change the game. Because I know a few people who like they actually are Canadian citizens, and it's like that's one of the reasons really what impair like them doing a lot of business in Canada was the taxes. Taxes seem to be a little excessive.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just kind of how we are. We've always been a little bit more, I guess, socialist and than the states. That's for sure. Um, what you have quite a bit of following on there on social media. Were you into social media before? Were you an influencer before you got into crypto, or did kind of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency bring you forth into this public figure life?
Um, I still don't even really consider myself an influencer, but you could say Bitcoin, crypto, and finance generally. That's kind of like what got me interested in it
Hmm.
because where I just started making videos talking about concepts that like a lot of people didn't understand, and I would just break it down in a real digestible manner. That's why a lot of people really started watching my videos. Like, it really started off like a lot of my friends, and they would send it to their friends, and that's kind of like how that got on. So then a lot of people in the space started to know me when I go out. They start recognizing me. Hey, do what I saw you just be talking in your car, Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like what brought me into that. I didn't really have like no real ambition of being an influencer. I just found something interesting I like to talk about.
For sure, man, for sure. Uh, so how do you feel about in terms of cryptocurrency and storage? Do you use custodial services, or are you like not your keys, not your coins kind of guy?
I am kind of like, even though it isn't good, I do kind of keep my my stuff on exchanges. It depends on the exchange. Like, I mean, obviously any exchange can happen. You see what happened with Binance when they got hacked for like what? That was like 500 some million or something. Like, yeah, they had
Yeah,
a
is that recent or was that like a few years ago? I know there was like a $40 million hack like I think a few years ago.
no, they had a one
Was it?
on the BNB chain or something. I think yeah, not last month or something or earlier this
Oh,
month.
was there?
Yeah, I think it was a major hack. But I think they're like either they was able to prevent like a lot of the funds from being stolen. But yeah, I'm kind of a person. I tend to keep my money on exchanges, even though that's not a good habit at all. It's just that you
No,
know,
that's not a good habit. I tell people, well, actually, that's not true. That's not true. I do. I use one reputable exchange, but I definitely don't have all. They don't have everything. That's for sure.
like exchanges like Binance, FTX, they're the ones who I kind of like trust more. So it's like okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah, definitely.
but there are a lot of exchanges out there that are going belly up. A lot of them, they are blocking transactions. Whenever you see an exchange block a transaction or say like you can't withdraw, that's like a huge
Mhm.
red flag in my opinion. It's like like when you're ready after all the verification, they say, oh, they're stopping all transactions. Like, all right, nothing, no good news comes after that.
uh, are you? Do you have a favorite cryptocurrency?
It was Solana, to be honest. Yeah, it was Solana. Even though Solana's been taking a beating, but I mean, most
Yeah,
cryptocurrencies are taking a beating. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I guess I'm not really like a Marxian anyone, but I guess I'll stick to the Bitcoin. Yeah,
Nice
that's
choice, man.
that's the
Nice
safest
choice.
bet. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I usually tell this, I tell people most on most podcasts that I'm a big Bitcoin allocator mostly, and Ethereum as my second biggest allocation. So, but I don't really dabble outside of there. I used to dabble a bit more, but I just keep I just play the safe bet, like you said. It's when in doubt, choose Bitcoin, and I just I think the returns are good enough for me. I don't need
Yeah,
to. I don't want to gamble at this point. Maybe in the future when my stack is a little bit bigger, maybe I want to gamble a little bit. Right now, I like the safe play. I like the safe plays. I think there's Bitcoin's not the only safe play, but
yeah,
I like Bitcoin because it's the first iteration of decentralized internet money, and
yeah.
that has potential to absolutely turn the world upside down.
Definitely, definitely. Um, yeah, I always tell people like, especially like how we're in this bear market now, I always tell people now is not the time to be, not the time to take risk really. Like this is the time to stick with stuff that, will survive. Because like when you look at that top 100 list on CoinGecko and Coin Market Cap, it's like every day something shifting and dropping out. You had the whole situation with Terra
Yeah.
Luna. That was a disaster. Like,
Oh man.
so it's like, like
If you take coin market cap top 10 over the years, I think and like just look at it every like 6 months and see all the different coins being in the top market cap, and then you just realize that like Bitcoin's just always there, always number one, and it just sticks. Whereas the other ones, I mean, there's like Ethereum's obviously pretty legit, but a lot of them have shifted around and gone belly up. Things you never thought would go belly up, gone belly up. You never think $100 billion can just disappear like that, but it does. And that does in this crazy cryptocurrency world. So yeah, you definitely got to be careful out there.
Yeah, that is very true. Like I always tell people, like times like this, now is not the time to be, crazy. You could be crazy when things are going good. That's the time to be crazy, not now.
Yeah,
Now is the
yeah,
time to be cautious. Really.
right,
Yeah.
for sure. And I mean, I feel like not a lot of people like just the way the market is. Like people aren't. It doesn't seem like people are putting big gambles out there. Maybe I mean maybe there are like behind the scenes a little bit, but I definitely have a lot less money since the bear market, so I'm just playing a conservative lifestyle here and keep stacking sats, man. That's what I do here at the Halving Report.
Yeah. That's what you gotta do, man. Just gotta adapt.
Oh man, I'm gonna I guess ask you if you have any words of wisdom, I suppose, for myself and my listeners.
Um, I would say one word of wisdom. This is gonna sound crazy. Talk to strangers, get to talk to people who you don't know, just like how
Mhm.
like when we met at by in Canada, like we didn't know each other, but we just took a few seconds to talk to each other. And I learned from what I learned so far is like as simple as just having a conversation with someone that could really change your life, because you don't know who you're talking to and you don't know where these conversations can lead. And when you find someone in the space, I understand that we're all a little crazy to some degree. All of us, like, we're really into Bitcoin and all that. We're all a little crazy, and it's
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
some more than others, some more than others.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's just there's so many crazy characters in this space, but yeah, talk to strangers, man. I feel like you can get rich just by the people you hang out with, right? All it takes is meeting the right people, then making different connections with different people, filling the gaps in other people's needs, and some things just come to fruition just by networking. So that's why I love going to the Blockchain Futures Conference, and I've had you on the podcast now. I've had a couple other people I've met from the conference on the show. I'm just super grateful. It's a really cool bunch of people in this space. So I'm really glad you took the time of your day to come on the show. You have an awesome crypto name, Lambo Astwood. So you got to stick with it.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, if you have any final comments or questions? If not, do you mind just letting us know where we can follow you and learn more?
All right. I just want to say, man, I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate what you're doing. I really love what you're doing with the podcast, man. Definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing it grow. Hopefully, I come on again and we can discuss more, man. Definitely. But yeah, I just want to tell all the people, thanks for listening. And my social media is at Lamont Astwood, LamontAstwood, at Lamont Astwood on my social media. I'm the only person in the world with that name, so I figured I might as well make that on my social media.
Well, wait, just wait long enough on Instagram. I'm sure you'll have some impersonators out there.
Yeah, I already went through that.
Okay, I figured that. With that many followers, you probably have a few impersonators out there. All right, man. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. I'd love to do it again in the future, and I'll let you know when things are out. Thanks again. Thank you all for listening to the Halving Report podcast. Please like and subscribe to the show. Check out the show notes below. Share it with a friend, and we'll see you back next time.